In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you why you should have a sidebar on your blog if you're blogging on your website. Then I'm going to tell you what to include in your sidebar. And finally, I'll have a quick screen share tutorial on how to add a sidebar to your blog and your posts and how to customize it and get the elements that you actually need in your sidebar So let's get going. The reason you should have a sidebar is a lot of people will hit your website on a blog post first. And we spend a lot of time optimizing the copy on our home pages and our about pages and our work with me pages so that when people get to our website, they know who we serve, they know what we do, they know what they're going to get when they give us their money, they know all of these things with our messaging and our branding, which is great. But then when they come into our website sort of like sideways and they hit a blog post, they don't know any of that. They just have this blog post. And if there's no sidebar, I've actually seen websites where it's totally blank. There's just the menu at the top and then the post. There's no information at all communicating and clarifying the messaging of whose blog this is or what business this is. What do they do? Who do they serve? And if this is really for the visitor. So you want to include a sidebar so you can optimize all of your blog posts as well as you do your home page and your work with me page with all of your branding and your messaging. So how do we do that? What do we include in the sidebar? There's a lot you can include in there, and I'm going to give you kind of the basics that I always include when I'm designing a site for a client and what I tell my coaching clients to include as well. You want a title. Some themes, I use Beaver Builder, we can customize the top part of a blog or a post page and to include that. But most themes you can't. So in the sidebar is where you need to do this. So you want a title for your blog. What does this blog serve? Who is it for? What are you doing? You also want, especially if you're a service provider, you want a picture of you in your sidebar, a little mini bio, like one sentence. Who are you? What are you doing? Again, who are you serving? You absolutely want a search bar. So the goal of a sidebar is to get visitors to explore and browse your content, to get them to stay on your website and see all the great content that you've got. And so the next part of your sidebar is content organization. And you really want to include your categories. You may or may not include recent posts, depending on if you're blogging on something that is timely, like if you are a political blogger or you're blogging on current events, and you certainly want to include timely things. I don't. Dates don't particularly matter in my case, so I don't include my most recent posts. They're on the main blog page, but you can. For sure, categories, you can possibly include links to your services or your service pages. You can include ads. You can include affiliate links to services and products that you provide. You can for sure also include an opt-in box to your email list. So several years ago, or when kind of websites first started, the sidebars were standard. And then they went out of favor several years ago, and they got replaced with pop-up boxes and hello bars and lots of other features and, social media things on the side or on the bottom. And I really feel like a lot of those things don't work well on mobile. Your sidebar doesn't really even show up on mobile. So on a desktop or on a bigger screen, a sidebar to me is much more effective. I have not A/B tested this, other than when I add sidebars to clients' sites, their bounce rate tends to drop, which tells me that they're an invitation for people to browse. So, you ready to add a sidebar? Let's jump onto WordPress and we'll get started. I'll show you how. Okay, I am on the dashboard of a test website. This is running Astra theme, which is a free theme. It's a great theme. I looked at sidebars for 3 different free themes. They're all pretty standard. I just wanted to test it before I did this. So the first thing you need to do is go to Pages, and you need to add a blog page. If you've got a blog page already, you're great. So over here, well, look, I've already got a blog page. The next thing you need to do is you need to turn on the sidebar for this page. So edit your blog. And you'll note over here on the right side on the Astra theme, it says Astra settings, sidebar. And so we can select, we want a right sidebar on this page and this page alone. 2017, WordPress 2017 theme gave you the option to add a sidebar. And their newest theme, 2019, or it might have been vice versa, didn't even have an option for a sidebar on the blog page. So not all themes will you see the sidebar option over here on the side of a page, but certainly check there. If you're like, wait, I want a sidebar and I don't see it, it's probably because you haven't chosen a sidebar template on your theme. So we'll update there. The next step is to go to Settings, Reading. And here we're going to choose our Posts page. Now, I do all my custom design on Beaver Builder. And so for this, I never choose the post page. I custom design the actual blog page that we just created. If you're not using Beaver Builder Pro, go ahead and select the blog as your post page, and that will show you all of your posts on that page. If you're using Beaver Builder and you can fully customize that blog page where it shows all of your posts, you don't need to do this. Okay, so we're going to do that, and we're going to save those changes. Now, the next step is to actually customize the blog page. So for that, we're going to go to Appearance and Customize. And all sidebars are built with widgets. And a widget is just a block of content that serves a specific function in WordPress. And so you have to just drag and drop widgets into your sidebar, and then we're going to customize those widgets. The other place you can find this, if you go to Appearance and Widgets. So here you can see the main sidebar, and you can see all of the content that's in the main sidebar, and you can drag these in or out. You can, rearrange them, whatever you want, but you can't see what you're doing in live time. So the easier place to create your sidebar is in the customizer. So to get there, we're going to go open up your customizer. Okay, here we are on my super lovely test website. So the thing about, so we're on the home page right now, and to use the customizer and actually to see it in live time, we need to go to the actual pages that we're going to be using. So let's go over to the blog. And here I have 2 posts, and I have my sidebar here. It has a search bar, recent posts, archives. This is a useless category because I don't want to go through and see what was in March 2019 and February 2019. And there are websites that has years of blog posts, and that is not user-friendly. So this is what comes standard on a sidebar out of the box in WordPress, like meta. This is useless. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go over here into the customizer so we can see this. And you might have to find where the widgets are. Generally, they're in the main column. But we're going to look at the main sidebar. If the main sidebar doesn't come up, or the primary sidebar, it's because you're not on a blog page. You can only see it if it's turned on for that page. So here you can see this row here is the exact same as the row we saw in the widgets page, and it also matches what's happening over here. And so we're going to keep the search. We're going to remove, actually we'll keep recent posts, but to remove them, you just click remove. Archives, that's the dated section, we're removing that. We're removing recent comments. Especially remove that if you have comments turned off on your blog posts. Categories we'll keep, but we're going to change the title of this from categories to browse the blog by category, or whatever. You can change that to whatever you want. Meta, we are going to remove. And then here is a little text box with the copyright date and find web design down here. That's already in the footer, so there's no reason to have that in the sidebar. But we are going to keep the text box because in the text box, I want to add what this blog is. So we're going to say this is the test blog all about saving your website, whatever, saving money, losing weight, exercising more, whatever it is that you do. Now, you'll notice you don't have all of the options here that you normally do in WordPress. So we want this a little bigger. So we have to go over to here to the text. Yes, we want to dismiss that to the text box here. And we're going to make this an H3, a header. So it's going to be a little bigger, and hopefully it'll be, no, we need it bigger than that. Let's do H2. Oh, that's huge. There we go. That's the same size as the rest. And then at the end, we're going to go caret \H4 and close that header tag. Okay, so this is just my title, right? And actually, if we wanted to, we could also just put this up here in the title box, and it would show up in that exact same font, I believe. Yep, there we go. Okay, and we're going to move this. We're just going to drag that one up to the top. We will drag that up to the top. Now we want to add some. We want to add the picture of you with a little bio. So we're going to add a widget. And the whole row of potential widgets that we can use pops up. So we can add an audio player, a calendar, categories, custom HTML. We're going to go down here and we are going to look for text. So you just have to click on it. You don't have to drag it over, just click on it. And here now is where we're going to add a little picture of you. And so you're going to do this the exact same way you do regular media on a blog post. So add media. This is like a header picture, so it's totally not the right size. But we'll add it as a thumbnail. Okay, so you can just see my name, which is terrible. That's not what you want. Obviously, you want a headshot. And then down here, a little blurb about what your blog about you. And that's at the bottom, so we're going to drag that up. Now we want to add an HTML widget. And in your HTML widget, that's where you're going to add the code for your opt-in box. So you're going to have to get that from your email service provider. And you can just cut and paste that code right in there. So opt-in box here. Obviously, we'll take out that title. And we'll move that up. And now we have categories. You can put these in whatever order you want. We'll move the search bar up a little bit higher. Probably above the opt-in. And then you can add as many widgets as you want. So if you want to add images of your services, if you want to add affiliate links, you want to add ads, this is where you do it all. And then you can see it in live time. Okay, here we are on my blog. You'll see I have a title, I have categories up here, and this is all customizations, obviously, that I've done with Beaver Builder that you can't really do on a standard theme. And then here's my sidebar. So again, I have the same title. So I have for entrepreneurs who want an authentic brand, effective web copy, and a strategic website that works as hard as they do. I have a headshot of me, a little blurb about who I am and what I do, my opt-in box, a search bar, and then I have my categories here, my main categories that can be browsed, favorite resources. So this link goes to a blog post that explains more of my favorite resources. And then I have links to, these are affiliate links on my sidebar. So there you have it. And obviously my sidebar has a little bit of more customization with the backgrounds and the borders and whatnot. But you can do all of that here and just use this space effectively and strategically so people can find and consume the content on your site that you take so much time to create. If you've got any questions at all, you can write a comment below and I will answer it. Or you can head on over to entwinewebdesign.com and check out my stuff. If you'd like some more information or would like to be on my list, you can opt in there. I will put links below. I also have a blog post about optimizing your sidebar on my blog that I wrote a while back, and I will put a link to that in the comments or in the description below as well.